Have you ever found yourself in a situation where just one comment or a tiny action from someone instantly makes you irritated, angry, and reacting on impulse? Maybe it's a stranger cutting in line, a coworker making a mistake but blaming it on you, or even something as simple as someone not replying to your text right away. In those moments, your body reacts as if you under threat, your heart races, your fists clench, your mind feels like it's about to explode. And before you even have a chance to think, you say or do something you later regret. That's the destructive power of emotional reactivity, that deeply human reflex, but also one of the biggest reasons our lives feel exhausting, stressful, and full of conflict. Now, today's video is going to be a dry psychology lecture, and it's not just a list of tips to help you control your emotions. This is an honest conversation between you and me, about a quiet power that already lives inside you, the power of not reacting right away. Hearing the truth, you can't control the world, you can't control other people, and you certainly can't control everything that happens around you. But you can control how you respond. And when you learn how to stay calm in the middle of chaos, you start living a freer, clearer, and more mature life. A lot of people think that not reacting means weakness, like you are just tolerating bad behavior or letting people walk all over you. But in reality, not reacting is one of the highest expressions of inner strength. It's a choice to pause, to observe, to understand what's going on inside you before you take action. In a world that moves fast, where people speak before they think, and where social media pushes us to react instantly, choosing to stay silent, to slow down, to not respond immediately, is actually a radical act. In this video, we will explore why your brain reacts the way it does. We will look at how your nervous system gets triggered when you're provoked, and how you can start training yourself to separate from that automatic emotional reflex. You will learn simple but powerful techniques, like how to breathe, how to pause, and how to shift your perspective, so you can stay in control during the most stressful moments. You will also hear real-life stories about people who once struggled to control themselves, but learn it step by step how to take back that control. And here's the thing. You don't have to become a monk or live in a cave to master this skill. You can start right now, right where you are, simply by listening and allowing yourself to think differently about your emotions and reactions. Every one of us has had moments when an impulsive, emotional decision made everything worse. But we also had moments when simply not reacting saved our peace, saved a relationship, and saved ourselves. So what would happen if you learn how to not react, not by suppressing your feelings, but by truly understanding and mastering them? What would change if you started creating a space between the trigger and your response? That's the question this video will help you answer. And if you're ready, let's begin this journey together, the journey of discovering the power of not reacting. Part 1. The science and theory behind it. When we talk about controlling emotions or choosing not to react, most people immediately think about willpower, forcing yourself to hold it in, not getting angry, not crying, not showing weakness. But in reality, not reacting has far less to do with brute willpower and far more to do with understanding yourself, especially how your brain and nervous system work when you're emotionally triggered. And this is where science gives us some very clear answers. When someone insults you, cuts you off in traffic, or puts you in a situation where you feel out of control, what's actually happening inside your brain? It all starts with a small but incredibly powerful part of your brain called the amygdala. This is the part that detects threats and triggers instant emotional reactions like fear, anger, or anxiety. Think of it as your brain alarm system. It works lightning fastball faster than your conscious thinking can keep up with. Once that alarm goes off, it sends signals through your body to prepare for action. Your heart rate spikes, your muscles tense, your breathing becomes rapid. This is the fight or flight response, a survival mechanism that helps humans get through the days of hunting and avoiding wild predators. The problem is, in today's world, our threats aren't usually tigers. They are things like a late-night email from your boss, a rude comment from a family member, or a snarky post on social media. Yet your brain and body still react as if your life is in danger. And when you respond immediately, yelling, blaming, slamming doors, you're not really choosing that action. You're letting your amygdala run the show. Neuroscientists call this an amygdala hijack, when your emotional brain takes over and drowns out the rational part of your mind. But you are not just your amygdala. Your brain has another remarkable part, the prefrontal cortex. This is responsible for logical thinking, decision-making, self-control, and the ability to see the bigger picture. When you're calm, this part of your brain can ask questions like, but is this really a big deal? Is my reaction appropriate? Is there a better way to handle this? The problem is, when your amygdala is in overdrive, it temporarily disconnects from your prefrontal cortex. Soon is why thinking clearly feels nearly impossible when you are angry or panicked. So how do you take back control? The answer is, create a pause. If you can recognize the moment when your amygdala is firing up, and instead of reacting right away, you pause, take a deep breath, and simply notice what you're feeling. You'll give your prefrontal cortex time to come back online. In that moment, you're no longer a prisoner of your emotions. You're in charge of them. Neuroscience research, especially from places like Harvard, Stanford, and MIT, has shown that mindfulness meditation can strengthen your prefrontal cortex while reducing the size and reactivity of your amygdala. In other words, by practicing being present, simply sitting, noticing your breath, and observing your feelings without judgment, you are literally rewiring your brain. One well-known Harvard study found that after just 8 weeks of mindfulness meditation, participants showed measurable changes in brain structure. Their prefrontal cortex had grown thicker, and their amygdala had shrunk. This means you can train your brain to stop reacting impulsively simply by practicing awareness and emotional observation. Science also tells us that emotions are contagious, a phenomenon called emotional contagion. If someone around you is angry, anxious, or stressed, and you are not grounded in your own emotions, you will likely get pulled into their state. This explains why you feel tense when you walk into a high-stress meeting, or why someone else's outburst can make your own blood boil. But if you can remain neutral, calmly observing without absorbing, you can actually lower the emotional temperature of the entire situation. People that master non-reactivity don't just control themselves, they influence the environment around them. On top of that, positive psychology shows that when you learn to observe emotions without labeling them as good or bad, you increase your adaptability and resilience. This is called emotional agility, the ability to experience emotions without getting stuck in them. People with emotional agility allow themselves to feel what they feel, but they don't get defined by those emotions. You can think of emotions like clouds drifting across the sky of your mind. You are not the clouds, you are the sky. Emotions come and go, but if you react itching like grabbing onto each cloud, you get pulled into the storm. If you can simply watch without reacting, you create a quiet, open space in which you can choose your response. That's why not reacting isn't too about avoiding or suppressing your emotions. On the contrary, it's a sign of advanced emotional intelligence. It is the conscious act of observing your inner world, of pausing between the moment you were triggered and the moment you act. As psychologist Viktor Frankl once said, between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. And herein, the important part, that space isn't something you born with, the gene something you build. Just like you can train in the gym to strengthen your muscles, you can train your mind to become stronger. Every time you pause, take a breath, and choose silence over an outburst, you're building mental muscle, the muscle of patience, calm, and maturity. Over time, with enough practice, you want to just control your reactions. You will feel freer in your own life. No more being dragged around by your emotions. No more apologies for impulsive words. No more living in constant reactivity. You start living with intention, with inner stillness, and with a true sense of personal power. Part 2. Practical Ditto. Avoid immediate reactions. Understanding the science of emotions and how your brain reacts when triggered is a great start. But as you know, knowledge without practice does to lead to transformation. This is where we put it into action, where you start building a mental skill that will help you stay calm, strong, and free in any situation. Think of it like having an emotional brake inside you. Every time something makes you want to blow up, lose control, or fire back instantly, you'll tap that brake, not to avoid the issue, but to choose a better response. The techniques below are ways to consciously press that brake when you need it. Chemical gaucho, counting backwards to cool your brain chemistry. We all know emotional reactions happen fast, within a split second. When something triggers you, a rude comment, an unexpected event, your brain immediately activates the amygdala, the part responsible for processing emotions and detecting danger. In that instant, your brain floods your body with chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol, kicking off the fight or flight stress response. In this state, you were not really thinking, you're just reacting on instinct. So how do you interrupt this chemical chain reaction? One of the simplest and most effective methods is counting backwards, what I call the chemical countdown. When you feel anger, frustration, or any strong emotion rising, close your eyes if possible and slowly count down from 5 to 1 or 10 to 1, silently in your head. Focus only on the numbers. Don't you think about anything else. It might seem like a small action, but it's incredibly powerful. Counting interrupts the flood of stress chemicals, calms your nervous system, and gives your brain a moment to switch out of high-alert mode. For example, you were in a meeting and someone suddenly criticizes you harshly. Instead of snapping back or defending yourself in anger, you take a few seconds, close your eyes, and silently count backwards from 5 to 1. By the time you finish, your heartbeat slows, your temperature drops, and you were no longer riding the wave of pure emotion. When you do respond, you can speak with calm and control, rather than regret later. Think of it like gently pressing the brakes on a car that is speeding downhill. It keeps you from losing control of the wheel. Why does counting work so well? Science shows that when you focus on counting, you activate your prefrontal cortex, the logical, decision-making part of your brain, while reducing activation in the amygdala, which drives intense emotional reactions. In other words, counting is like telling your brain, stop, let you think before we act. 13. Why this is a technique you can use anytime, anywhere, from the moment you wake up to moments of unexpected stress throughout the day. Another everyday example. You were driving and someone cuts you off. Your first instinct might be to honk, yell, or make a gesture, but that just feeds the fire. Instead, you pause for a moment, fix your eyes on a single point ahead, and count down from 5 to 1. The frustration fades just enough for you to keep driving safely, calmly, and without making the situation worse. You can also combine countdown breathing with focused breathing. For example, as you count, take a deep breath in through your nose and slowly exhale through your mouth. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you relax while also slowing the pace of your countdown for a stronger stress-reducing effect. Over time, the chemical countdown technique won't just be a reflex you use when you gamble stress. It will become a steady, reliable tool for emotional control. Pause, stop, and breathe, creating mental space to regain control. The second technique, and one of the most fundamental, the pause, stopping and taking a deep breath. In any situation where your mind feels scattered by intense emotion, take 1 or 2 minutes to pause everything, breathe deeply, and create a psychological gap. Why pause? When emotions run high, you get swept up in a flood of thoughts, sensations, and impulse. You're no longer in control. Acting in that state often leads to hurtful words or poor decisions. Pausing gives your brain time to process information consciously, instead of reacting on autopilot. How to do deep breathing. One simple yet research-backed method used in medicine, sports, and psychology is the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat at least 3 times. You will notice your heart rate slowing, muscle tension easing, and your mind becoming clearer. Example: imagine you're in a heated argument with a coworker or partner. In a moment when you feel anger or frustration rising, instead of firing back with hurtful words, you say, "Give me a moment to breathe and think." Then you step outside or sit quietly and do deep breathing. This gap stops the adrenaline and correct surge and lets you regain composure. Or if you receive bad news or something shocking, instead of reacting with panic or anger, pause for 1 to 2 minutes, close your eyes and breathe deeply. You will feel the shifts being chaotic and overwhelmed to alert and clear-headed. That's in the power of creating mental space. To make pause even more effective, pair it with positive reminders like, I'm okay, I can control my emotions, or this will pass. This keeps your mind oriented toward calm rather than spinning in negative loops. Over time, practicing pause regularly not only helps you stay calm in high-stress situations, it also builds a habit of maintaining composure all day long. People who do this aren't too easily rattled by small irritations and tend to respond with more patience and understanding. In professional settings, many successful leaders value the pause technique. They know decisions made in an emotionally balanced state are better reduce mistakes, and preserve healthy relationships. One well-known CEO once said that whenever he gets bad news or negative feedback, he always takes a few minutes to stop, breathe deeply, and remind himself that everything can be resolved if he stays calm. Beyond that, pause also strengthens your self-awareness and ability to observe your inner world. Each time you stop and breathe deeply, you are training your brain to watch emotions without being swept away. This is the foundation of emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize and manage your own emotions. Labeling your emotions, creating distance by naming what you feel. When a strong emotion hits, instead of letting it drag you around or trying to suppress it, one simple but highly effective method is labeling your emotion. That means quietly saying or thinking what you were feeling. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling anxious. It sounds simple, but it's grounded in science. Research from neuroscientists at UCLA shows that naming your emotions reduces activity in the amygdala, the part of the brain that generates intense emotional reactions, while activating the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for rational thinking and self-control. In other words, when you say, I'm feeling angry, you're not just identifying your emotion, you're also stepping back from it, creating a safe mental space where you can observe it rather than be consumed by it. Example, you just got criticized by your boss in a way you feel is unfair. Anger and frustration flare up instantly. Instead of snapping back or bottling it up, you quietly tell yourself, I'm feeling angry right now. That simple act helps cool your emotions and opens the door to more thoughtful responses. You recognize that this feeling is temporary and that you have a choice in how to respond. Another example, a friend breaks a promise and you feel betrayed. Instead of lashing out or staying silently resentful, you tell yourself, I'm feeling disappointed and hurt. By identifying the emotion, you understand yourself better and can address the issue with your friend in a calmer, more constructive way. Labeling emotions doesn't just help in the heat of the moment. Over time, it builds emotional intelligence, a bare ability to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions proactively and effectively. Delay response, pausing before you respond in stressful situations, especially when emotions are running high. Our first instinct is often to respond immediately, whether through words or actions. But that's exactly when we most likely to make mistakes, because our reactions are being driven by raw emotion. The next skill you should practice is called delay response, pausing before you respond. This means that when someone says or does something that makes you angry, upset, or hurt, instead of firing back right away, you give yourself a moment to step back and not respond immediately. This isn't about avoiding conflict or being weak. It's about respecting yourself and the other person by responding when you're calm and thinking clearly. A simple yet powerful approach is to use gentle phrases that buy you time, such as, please give me a little time to think, or I need some time to process this. Let you and talk later. These phrases help you cool down and avoid blurting out something you might regret. For example, at work, if your boss criticizes you harshly, you might feel hurt and want to defend yourself instantly. But if you practice delay response, instead of snapping back, you could say, thank you for the feedback. I will think it over and we can discuss it later. Later, you can reflect on the criticism, identify any useful points, and prepare a calmer, more constructive reply. The result, a more productive, respectful conversation and no loss of emotional control in everyday life. The same applies to text messages or emails that feel aggressive or misleading. Responding while you are angry can escalate the situation. Instead, wait a few hours or even a day before replying. During that pause, ask yourself, is my reaction appropriate? Is there a way to phrase this without creating more conflict? Delay response helps you act intentionally rather than react impulsively. The beauty of practicing this is that over time, not only will your anger cool faster, but your relationships will also grow stronger. People will notice that you are not just reacting on impulse, you're genuinely listening and showing respect. That's a foundation for long-term trust. Mental shield reframing, reshaping your thinking and protecting your mind. When emotions run high, it's easy to spiral into negative thinking, often based on assumptions that are wrong, without even accurate. For example, after being rejected or criticized, you might think, I'm terrible at this. I would never succeed, or they must hate me. These thoughts are like poisonous arrows aimed at your self-esteem, making you feel worse and clouding your judgment. That's where the next skill comes in. Mental shield, protecting your mind from harmful thoughts. and reframing, which means shifting your perspective to see things in a more positive, or at least more objective, light. Here in a simple example. If a coworker criticizes you during a meeting, you might instantly think, I'm terrible, nobody trusts me. But with reframing, you'll ask yourself, is this 100% true? Or are they just stressed about the project and want me to improve a certain part? Another helpful question is, will this still matter 5 years from now? When you take a long-term view, many problems shrink in importance, making them easier to handle. Mental shield works in a similar way, but it's about protecting yourself emotionally. If you feel insulted, imagine a mental shield blocking those words before they can hurt you. You might remind yourself, what they said reflects their own state of mind. This is not a reflection of me. By practicing this mental shield, you stop letting other people in negativity cut so deep. Psychologists note that reframing shifts you from a victim mindset to a proactive one, opening up better choices and smarter ways to respond. It's not just a way to calm your emotions. It's a long-term mindset skill that builds resilience, confidence, and a healthier outlook on life. Part 3. Lessons from famous people on the power of not reacting immediately. Being able to control your emotions and resist the urge to react right away is a crucial skill. It helps you stay calm, think clearly, and make sound decisions in any situation. This isn't just true for everyday people. This is also something we see clearly in the lives and careers of many well-known Americans. These figures, from entertainment to politics to sports, have shown us how emotional control can help overcome challenges and inspire millions. Story 1. Barack Obama, as a master class in staying calm during crisis. Obama, former president of the United States, is widely admired for his calm demeanor and wise approach to handling crises. During his 2 terms, he faced intense challenges, from economic turmoil to political conflicts, and even personal attacks from the media and opponents. One of Obama's signature leadership traits was his ability to pause before responding. Now, textbook example of the pause and respond technique. In interviews and speeches, he has often said that stopping to take a breath and think before answering a question or making a decision is critical. In moments of extreme pressure, this helped him avoid impulsive reactions, maintain consistency, and communicate effectively. For instance, during the 2008 financial crisis, right as he entered the White House, Obama resisted the urge to rush into quick fixes. Instead, he took time to listen to experts, assess the situation from all angles, and then propose financial rescue policies. This not only minimized damage but also reinforced public trust in his leadership. His example shows the power of slowing down, thinking first, and responding with intention. Now, skill anyone can learn. Story 2. Oprah Winfrey reframing thoughts in the face of adversity. Oprah Winfrey, a cultural icon and self-made billionaire, endured tremendous hardship from a difficult childhood to the pressures of global fame. Yet her ability to reframe her thinking has been key to her success and resilience. In one interview, Oprah shared that when facing criticism or scandals, she refused to let negativity define her. Instead of thinking, everyone hates me, she would ask herself, what is this trying to teach me? How can I grow from it? This mental shift served as a shield against emotional harm, allowing her to learn and grow instead of being crushed by public opinion. A child example was when Oprah walked away from a hugely popular talk show to pursue personal projects. Many doubted her decision, but she saw it as a chance to reinvent herself and expand her horizons. Her story is a living testament to the power of mental shielding and reframing, turning challenges into opportunities for growth. Story 3. Lee Jenner delaying response in a high-pressure arena. LeBron James, one of the greatest NBA players of all time, is also known for his exceptional emotional control on the court. In the hyper-competitive, high-pressure world of professional basketball, winning criticism from fans, media scrutiny, and aggressive opponents, staying composed is no small feat. LeBron has faced countless situations where rivals played dirty or where referee calls stirred controversy. But rather than reacting with anger or trash talk, he often chooses the delay response technique, taking a moment to cool down before saying or doing anything. In one NBA fan game, after being fouled hard and seeing questionable calls from the refs leading to lash out, instead he focused on strategy, teamwork, and the bigger goal. His composure helped lead his team to victory. This discipline shows how delaying your reaction can preserve your professionalism, keep you focused, and ultimately lead to better outcomes in high-stakes situations. Story 4. Michelle Obama, labeling emotions to inspire others. Michelle Obama, former First Lady of the United States, is widely admired for her composure, intelligence, and ability to inspire. In many of her speeches, she emphasizes the importance of recognizing and managing emotions, a skill that has helped her stay grounded despite intense pressure and criticism. One story she shared is about dealing with personal attacks on social media. Instead of letting those words hurt her, Michelle learned to label her emotions the moment they arise. I feel sad, I feel disappointed. By acknowledging and naming those feelings, she prevented herself from being swept up in negativity. That gave her the clarity to choose a smart, measured response, or sometimes to simply let it go. Michelle says this technique has helped her cultivate patience, empathy, and compassion, not only for others but for herself as well. It's a powerful lesson in building emotional intelligence and staying calm under any circumstance. Story 5. When Brother Rock, John T. Reframing your mindset to overcome failure. When Johnson, better known as The Rock, goes, a world-famous actor and athlete with an incredible success story. But few people realize that before his rise to fame, he faced repeated rejection and setbacks. In interviews, Wayne often reveals that one of his biggest tools for overcoming hardship is the practice of reframing, changing the way he interprets failure. Instead of seeing failure as the end of the road, he views it as a valuable lesson for growth. When he was cut from his football team and abandoned by former teammates and coaches, he did to let it break him. Instead, he asked himself, how can I use this time to grow and build myself up? By shifting his perspective and focusing on possibilities, Wayne pivoted into acting and went on to become one of Hollywood's top action stars. This story proves that how you choose to see and respond to challenges will shape your future. From Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Lee James, Michelle Obama, to Dwayne Johnson. These stories reveal the incredible power of pausing before reacting and taking control of your emotions. Whether it's stopping to take a deep breath, labeling your feelings, delaying your response, or reframing your thoughts, these high achievers have used these techniques to overcome challenges, stay professional, and keep growing. You can apply the same lessons in your everyday life to avoid being ruled by emotion, stay clear-headed, and make wiser decisions. Remember, true strength isn't about reacting instantly, it's about mastering your emotions, choosing the right response, and building a resilient, unshakable spirit. Part 4. Building long-term habits and emotional resilience. Emotional control isn't just a skill you pull out in moments of stress or sudden challenges. It's a long-term journey that requires consistent practice and patience. To truly master the ability to not react impulsively, you need to build emotional control habits over time and develop emotional resilience, the capacity to recover and maintain mental balance in any situation. In this section, we will explore how to build these habits and why emotional resilience is so essential. 1. Why building emotional control habits matters. Not everyone is born with the natural ability to control their emotions. In fact, most of us react automatically when faced with stress or conflict. Without conscious training, these automatic reactions can solidify into bad habits, leading to poor decisions, damaged relationships, and a negative impact on mental well-being. Building emotional control habits helps you respond consciously instead of reacting automatically. Reduce stress and mental fatigue. Improve the quality of your relationships, work performance, and decision-making. Cultivate inner peace and lasting happiness. These habits don't form overnight, they're the result of consistent strategic practice over time. 2 steps to build emotional control habit. Practice daily emotional awareness. The first step to controlling emotions is recognizing them intentionally each day. Take a few minutes to ask yourself, how am I feeling today? Why? You might keep an emotional journal or simply sit quietly and observe what's going on inside you. For example, if you notice you're feeling tense, pause and acknowledge, I'm feeling stressed because I have too much work right now. This small act creates distance between you and your emotions so they don't take the driver's seat. B. Train the bird. And respond technique daily. The pause and breathe technique isn't just for major stressful events, but you should practice it daily so it becomes second nature. Use it in small everyday annoyances. Being stuck in traffic, dealing with a rude person, or when things don't go as planned. Regular practice builds patience and conditions your brain to respond calmly even under pressure. Say meditation and mindfulness. Research shows that meditation and mindfulness are powerful tools for strengthening emotional control and reducing stress. Meditation trains you to focus on the present moment, observe thoughts and feelings without judgment, and avoid being swept away by negativity. You can start with just 5 to 10 minutes a day and gradually increase as you get more comfortable. Consistent practice builds calmness and self-regulation, skills that carry over into every aspect of life. Keep an emotional journal. Writing in an emotional journal daily or weekly is a great way to identify, track, and analyze your feelings. Record events that trigger strong emotions, how you reacted, and how you felt afterward. Over time, your journal will reveal recurring patterns in your reactions, helping you make better behavioral and mindset adjustments. 3. Building emotional resilience, strength from within. Emotional resilience is the ability not only to manage negative emotions, but also to quickly bounce back and maintain a positive mindset when facing difficulties, stress, or setbacks. It's not an inborn trait, it's a skill that can be developed through habits and mindset shifts. 4. Stress-to develop emotional resilience. Cultivate a positive mindset and practice gratitude. A positive mindset doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means choosing to see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. Focusing on the good in life helps you stay in a better mood and handle pressure more effectively. Make it a daily habit to write down at least 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small. Over time, this trains your mind to focus on the positives and builds long-lasting emotional resilience. Build a supportive social network. Humans are not meant to go through life alone. In tough times, the support of family, friends, and colleagues plays a huge role in helping you recover emotionally. Nurture positive relationships, share your feelings, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Studies show that people with strong social networks tend to have higher emotional resilience and are less affected by stress. Self-care. Strong emotional resilience starts with taking care of your physical and mental health. Quality sleep, a healthy diet, regular exercise, and proper rest will keep your energy high and strengthen your mental endurance. Make time for hobbies and activities that relax and recharge you, whether it's walking in nature, reading, listening to music, or spending time with friends. Challenge yourself with new situations. Stepping out of your comfort zone and facing challenges builds adaptability and mental toughness. The more diverse experiences you have, the more confident you will be in handling emotions and finding solutions. You could set a goal to learn a new skill, join a community activity, or try a new physical challenge to strengthen your resilience. 5. Applying habits and resilience in real-life situations. Imagine you're in an important meeting and a colleague suddenly criticizes you unfairly. The emotional control habits you will build would help you recognize your emotions immediately. I feel hurt and angry right now. Pause before responding. Take a few deep breaths. Count backward from 5. Label your emotions. I'm very angry, but I choose not to react impulsively. Emotional resilience. Remind yourself this is only a temporary situation and want to define your career. Respond calmly and respectfully, maintaining a good working relationship. This example shows that habits and emotional resilience not only help you master your emotions, but also improve relationships and boost your success at work. 6. Tips for maintaining habits and emotional resilience. Long-term, be patient and persist. Building habits and resilience takes time and consistent effort. Reward your sessions, acknowledge small wins, and treat yourself to keep motivation high. Keep learning, read books, or take courses on emotional intelligence to sharpen your skills. Self-reflect, regularly review how you handle emotions and adjust your habits accordingly. Enjoy the journey. See this process as a chance to know yourself better and grow in every aspect of life. Building emotional control and resilience gives you a solid foundation to remain calm under pressure, recover quickly from setbacks, and maintain inner peace. It's a journey of personal growth and self-mastery that helps you face challenges with confidence and thrive in every area of life. Start small, practice regularly, and stay committed, and you will experience the true power of emotional resilience. Part 5. Combining artistic elements, sound, visuals, and description. When creating a personal development video, especially on deep and sensitive topics like the power of pausing before reacting and controlling your emotions. Artistic elements aren't just there to make it look nice. They help the audience feel your message, connect with it on an emotional level, and remember it longer. Sound, visuals, and descriptive storytelling are the three key components that create a multi-dimensional emotional experience and greatly enhance the impact of your video. In this section, we will explore how to apply these elements effectively. 1. Sound. Guiding emotions and creating inner space. Sound is one of the most powerful tools for steering the viewer emotions. When talking about emotional control, the right sound choices help your audience shift into a calm, focused, and receptive state. Gentle, relaxing background music. When discussing the idea of pausing before reacting, choose soft, slow-paced music, meditative, or ambient styles work beautifully. Sounds of ocean waves, a gentle breeze, rustling leaves, or a light piano melody create a peaceful atmosphere that invites reflection. The key is to keep the volume moderate and the music unobtrusive. It should support your message without pulling attention away from your words. Rhythmic sounds for breathing and pause techniques, guiding the audience through deep breathing exercises or pause moments. Consider using subtle countdown tones, a quiet ticking clock, or a slow heartbeat sound. This helps viewers sync their breath with the instructions, increasing the effectiveness of the exercise. For example, during a 5-second countdown before responding, a calm voice counting each number over a soothing track can help people truly stop, breathe, and center themselves. Sound effects for emphasis. Light sound cues like a soft chime, gentle bells, or natural sound bursts can highlight key moments. For instance, when you talk about shifting your mindset or reframing your thoughts, a brief pleasing tone can draw attention and help the message stick. 2. Visuals. Conveying emotion and making ideas tangible. Visuals are essential for making your video engaging, easy to follow, and memorable. With emotional control as your topic, your imagery should be inspiring, calming, and relatable. Nature and stillness. Nature scenes, like a calm lake, a quiet forest, sunrise light, or a soft sunset, are visual symbols of peace and balance. When explaining techniques like pausing, deep breathing, or emotional self-mastery, these images help the audience feel a sense of calm. For example, during a pause and response segment, showing a slow-flowing river or a lush green forest can help viewers imagine themselves in that serene space, enhancing relaxation. Illustrating emotions through expressions and action. Use images or short video clips that show real human expressions, anger, worry, sadness, calmness, so viewers can visually connect with different emotional states. A furrowed brow and fast breathing can illustrate anger, while a gentle smile with closed eyes can represent peace. These visuals help people recognize their own emotions more clearly, making it easier to apply your techniques in real life. Breaks and technique diagrams. To make your content clearer and easier to remember, include simple, interactive or step-by-step visuals for each technique, like countdown breathing, deep breaths, or labeling emotions. Keep the design clean and the colors soothing. For example, when teaching emotion labeling, you could display a simple chart of common feelings alongside example sentences like "I'm feeling frustrated" or "I'm feeling anxious." This gives viewers a visual guide to practice with. 3. Description. Then using words to paint vivid mental images. Another key artistic element in your script is how you use language to create vivid mental images. Detailed and lively descriptions help viewers imagine and feel the content more deeply. Describe emotions specifically and visually. Instead of simply saying, "I'm angry," you can describe it with concrete imagery. "It feels like a fire roaring in my chest, making me want to shout or lash out." Descriptions like this spark the listener near imagination and help them connect more deeply with their own emotions. Build a mental space in your technique descriptions. When guiding techniques, use words that create a sense of calm and safety, so viewers can immerse themselves fully. For example, imagine standing on a peaceful beach, listening to gentle waves lap the shore. Take a deep breath, feeling the cool air fill your lungs. This type of descriptive language not only focuses attention but also engages the senses, making exercises like pause and respond more effective. Use metaphors and short stories. Metaphors are a great way to explain abstract concepts like emotions and emotional intelligence. For example, you could compare emotions to ocean waves. Emotions are like waves, sometimes strong and overwhelming, sometimes gentle. key is learning to surf the waves without being swept away. Including short illustrative stories can also clarify ideas and make your video more engaging and memorable. 4. Harmoniously combining sound, visuals, and description. The real power comes when you blend all three artistic elements together. Sound is to just background music that guides emotion. Visuals aren't to just decoration that convey the spirit of your message. Description isn't to just words. They're a bridge that immerses viewers in the experience. For example, when teaching the pause and respond technique, you could begin with a vivid description of a serene space. Play gentle, calming background music. Show tranquil nature. Visuals like a flowing river or a quiet forest. Guide the viewer step by step through deep breathing using subtle countdown sounds. This combination creates a synchronized experience that helps viewers focus, feel the moment, and practice effectively. 5. Tips for using artistic elements in your video. Choose sound carefully. Match the mood and message. Avoid overly loud or distracting sounds. Use high-quality visuals. Seashore images match the topic with harmonious colors and no visual clutter. Keep descriptions real, relatable, and emotionally rich. Simple yet powerful language works best. Control the pace. Don't to overwhelm viewers. Allow pauses for them to feel and practice. Connect through voice. A warm, expressive voice builds trust and friendliness, helping viewers engage deeply with your content. Part 6. Call to action and ask strong closing. We've just explored many techniques, stories, and tips on mastering your emotions and learning not to react impulsively in difficult situations. But knowledge alone isn't enough. The most important part is action, practicing every day. Before we wrap up today's video, I want to give you a call to action so you can start your journey to emotional mastery and transform your life starting today. 1. Start with the smallest step. No one becomes a master of emotional control overnight. Every great journey begins with small steps. I recommend you pick one technique that feels right for you, like pause and respond or labeling your emotions, and commit to practicing it for at least the next week. You can set a reminder on your phone or jot it down in a journal so you don't forget. Every time you notice your emotions and choose not to react impulsively, you are building a foundation for a calmer, stronger version of yourself. That is true power. 2. Make practice a consistent habit. If you truly want change, make emotional control a daily habit. Spend a few minutes every morning or evening meditating, journaling your emotions, or simply practicing deep breathing. The more consistently you practice, the stronger your ability to respond consciously, and the more resilient your emotional strength will become. Remember, small habits today shape your future. 3. Connect and share with your community. Personal growth is not a journey you need to take alone. I highly encourage you to share your experiences, challenges, and successes in controlling your emotions with friends, family, or like-minded communities. Having support and companionship makes the process easier and more motivating. Also, consider joining personal development groups or channels where you can learn new techniques and get inspired by others who are on the same path. 4. Subscribe and follow to not miss future videos. If you found this video helpful and want to continue this journey with me, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new content. I will keep sharing techniques, stories, and practical lessons to help you master your mind, develop life skills, and create a meaningful, happy life. Engaging with the video, liking, commenting, and sharing not only keeps you updated, but also supports me in creating more high-quality content for you and the community. 5. Final words of encouragement. Life will inevitably bring stress, conflicts, and negative emotions. But the difference between successful people and the rest lies in their ability to control emotions and pause before reacting. When you practice this skill, you not only stay calm but also make better decisions, improve your relationships, and protect your long-term mental health. Remember, every time you pause, take a deep breath and think before reacting, you are creating a better version of yourself. That is real power, the power of patience, calm, and self-mastery. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I truly look forward to accompanying you on your journey to emotional mastery and personal growth. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future videos, leave a comment below. I read every message and will respond as soon as I can. Wishing you a wonderful day, inner peace, and success in every area of your life. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching the video. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. BookSnack is your go-to place for short and enjoyable book summaries. Got a book you go like us to cover next? Drop the title in the comments below. I will be reading all of them and picking the most requested ones. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.